at the top of the hour. My
Perfect.
name is Lynn Voss from Golden Care, and I wanted to thank everyone for joining us today. This is actually a follow-up presentation from we had a Care Matters 2 web in-depth training webinar with David this morning, and this is the follow-up that goes into a bit more detail on the Care Matters Together that's designed specifically for couples. So we're already saying David's screen, so I will go ahead and turn it over. David, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Lynn, for the opportunity to speak to all of you. And I'm really excited to be here and talk to you today again about Care Matters Together. We have two policies that we offer for long-term care solutions, which are both linked benefits. One is Care Matters 2 that we discussed earlier today. And now we're going to discuss a little bit about Care Matters Together. Ultimately, they're both linked benefit products, meaning they're built on a life insurance chassis, so they have guarantees, they have flexibility, and they have kind of a solution for your clients for any situation that they might have where it's going to put them in a better situation than what they came in with. That's the idea of these products, that it creates a pool for long-term care purposes at a later age or whenever they need it, but they're leveraging their money in order to create this pool. So I'm really excited about this product because it's been doing very well, and it just offers a lot of nuances that makes it a little bit easier to share these benefits rather than just one person. It's most of the time more economical. It saves a little bit of money for the client when there's two-on-one policy, and we'll talk about that flexibility and how that happens. But I will, at the end of this, I'm going to try to get to the point to where we can run an illustration, maybe so you can see that if you've never run an illustration, kind of just seeing how an illustration is created. It's very simple, but you can understand a little bit more of the functions of the policy also. After this, I'll also be sending Lynn the actual presentation so you guys can have it and look over it. But we're always available to assist you with any questions. This is a territory. Jack Brewer, as many of you have seen and maybe have met in the past, he's actually on the East Coast of the country. So anything East Coast, kind of Mississippi to the east, that's Jack. You can reach out to him. He's on East Coast time. I'm on West Coast time. I'm based in Los Angeles. You can reach me anytime. If it's later in the day and there's no one that can assist you at Nationwide, give me a call. I'm always available to answer any questions that you might have. And then we have Cass Barnes, who's our internal assistant, and she's able to help you out with any of the illustrations, any trainings, anything that you have submitted that we have in-house that there might be a delay or any questions on that. Give us a call. We have the direct path to underwriting, to case management, and we can push things for you. We're here as your advocates. We're here as your partners. We want to get you that business done as quickly as possible. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and start that presentation. We discussed what link benefit was truly in the market and in our previous conversation. And what link benefit is essentially, it's a long-term care solution built on a life insurance chassis. And for this product in particular, it's a survivorship policy. It's two people on one, and the death benefit gets paid on the death of the second person. So it is a true SUL. Everything is guaranteed on this product. And again, the solution that you're looking for on this linked benefit products is, number one, is it offers a death benefit that's more than what you put in. It offers the pool of long-term care, which is essentially the purpose that you're purchasing this policy, or your client is. And then lastly, if you needed it and you're looking for a solution that gives you the opportunity that if one day you change your mind, you have the ability to actually get a return of premium on these products. And that was the whole concept of these Care Matters Together product, is to offer kind of a solution to your clients' needs, whatever they may be. But it's an option that they have where they feel comfortable purchasing this policy and knowing that they're going to be better off in any situation that they need. So Care Matters, it's different. It's one of the few policies that's on joint life, and it's a little bit more cost effective because it is on two lives. And it has a lot of little nuances that we're going to talk about, like underwriting, that allows us to maybe get someone approved that might not qualify for other policies. So really what CareMatters does is it offers simplicity. It's a shared pool of funds. It helps take out the guesswork, you know, of how it's going to care and who's going to care for the person, and whatever, whoever comes first, they're able to access it. This policy doesn't have any restrictions. We don't say, hey, one of them can use, one of the spouses can use 50% of the policy and the other 50%. If one of the spouses uses the entire amount of the policy, that's fine. If they use 30% or 20%, it does not matter. What we are trying to do in this market is create the most flexibility for your client, because we know that, you know, there is no one solution for long-term care. I've been a caregiver for 20 years. I know that there's different ways to go about it. Some people believe in different ways to remedy things, and this gives you the flexibility in order to do that, because it's cash indemnity and it lets you do whatever you need to do with the cash rather than having to choose things that, you know, you're going to have to present to the carrier and get them paid that way. More predictability. Again, this policy, all the benefits, the death benefit, just like on the CareMatters 2 product, it's going to have a ledger. Everything on that ledger is going to be guaranteed. And when we run the illustration, you'll be able to see that. And I'll be able to tell you a little bit more about that. And then lastly, more control. The full monthly benefit is sent directly to the policy owner. No restrictions. Again, that cash benefit, they choose what they want to do with that money, however they want to spend it. If you want to bring in to your home, because let's be honest, long-term care is about staying home now. If you want to bring, you know, a licensed person to your home, or let's say you have a niece that's in nursing school and she's there to assist, you can go ahead and you can choose that as an option because you have that flexibility with the cash. So this is how this policy works. It's not like the CareMatters 2 is more, it's a 6-year policy. It's anywhere from 2 to 7 years. This policy has 3 options. Okay, your 3 options are going to be 48 months, 72 months, or 96 months. Those are your only 3 options. It's an 8-year, a 6-year, and a 4-year option. So what it does is it eliminates kind of the need to know how much to purchase. Generally, if you're going to get the sweet spot on the single product is on the individual product is generally about 6 years. So if you were to purchase a policy for husband 6 years, wife for 6 years, the chances of both of them using the full 6 years, remember statistically, somebody needs long-term care, they're going to go in for 3 or 4 years. And that's kind of statistically what we see. But if you buy 2 6-year policies, you know, there's a chance that a few of those years are not going to be used on one side or the other. With this policy, you're sharing either 7 or 8 or 6 years, and basically whoever has the need first, or, you know, if no one has the needs, it has a death benefit. But if one has the needs for the benefit to start right away, it starts, and they can use the full amount, they can use half of it, they can use 20% of it, as much as they need of that policy. It's truly a shared pool. LTC can be split, and I'm going to show you how, just to give you a visual of how that works. And here are the following 3 examples. They're 96 months, which is 8 years on these examples, but I just wanted to kind of show you. So Monroe uses the 24 full months. Monroe and Dolores have been married. Monroe needs it from day one. He's 2 years, needs a long-term care benefit. And then we have his spouse that after 2 years, he's off claim. And then Dolores needs it, and she uses it for the extended period of the 6 years, and it completes the policy there. This is just an example of how it can work. On this one, it's domestic partnership. You got Stephen uses 42 full months, and then his husband uses 54 months during that time. And if you notice, there's an overlap in the second year. The second year, both of them are on claim. It lasts about the 1.5 years. In this example, you know, if the benefit for, I want you to think of the 96 months as being a unit. Every month is a unit. Every month has a value. If let's say that value of every month was $10,000, then if they were both on claim at the same time, each one of them would receive that $10,000 coin, or that unit. So during the time that they were together and both needed claim benefit, they would receive $20,000. Once Stephen was off benefit or didn't need it any longer, then Michael just continued with $10,000. But while they were on claim, they doubled that. They doubled the benefit. Then lastly, John uses 96 full months of benefit, and Lori, she unfortunately got 0. John needed the full 96 months. The idea, hopefully, is that Lori understood that John was going to need it, for the full 96 months, and at some point maybe purchase another policy for herself. So this is just to give you the example that we have no restrictions on how somebody can use this policy, and it's really effective because of that flexibility. The way this policy works is, again, 48, 72, and 96 months. Those are your three options, okay? If you recall, if you were on our last call, the long-term care portion, this is going to be for all those years, but the first 2 years on the individual product were using their death benefit that was created. On this product, if you have two clients, it's going to be 36 months that they're going to expand the actual death benefit being the primary long-term care benefit that's being expensed first. After that, it goes into the extension of benefit riders. And as you see underneath, it's either the 12 months, 36 months, or 60 months that you're adding to the benefit period. Okay, but on this one, what this essentially means, and why I bring this up, is if you have a client that maybe is considering retiring outside of the country, the death benefit portion, which in this option is 3 years, can be outside of the country. If they chose a 72-month, which is a 6-year contract, the first 3 years can be anywhere in the world. If they need and continue to need the benefit, then they have to come back and return to the States for the subsequent 36 months. Okay, so I want everyone to understand that the death benefit is a 36 months, so that's where you're spending down almost like your own money, your own death benefit, and then it goes into the benefit rider. But the first 3 years, you can be outside of the country on this one. Now, why is this product so incredibly beneficial to married couples or two people on one policy? And I want to clarify that. So this policy is generally intended for husband and wife, spouse, domestic partnership. But this policy can also be offered to clients that may not be married, but they have a different family structure. If you have primary family living at your home, let's say a daughter that maybe did not get married, doesn't have children, they're within 25 years of age as a mother, they can purchase a policy together. So it could be mother-daughter, it could be father-son, it could be, as long as it's primary family. Okay, so as long as it's primary family and the ages are within 25 years, you can choose that person to be on that policy also. Doesn't necessarily have to be husband and wife. That option also exists here. The predictability of this policy, as I mentioned, it's guaranteed premiums, guaranteed long-term care benefit. There's nothing volatile in this policy. It is a SUL, survivorship, life insurance policy, and everything is structured to be guaranteed. The death benefit's guaranteed, the guaranteed accumulation LTC benefits if premium payments ever stop. Just like in the CareMatters 2, let's say this client decides that they want to pay a 10-year pay, and they get to year 8, and they basically say, you know what, we don't want to make any more payments. They can go ahead and do that. Reduced paid up premiums are there for them, and they can simply call the Nationwide and ask, hey, if I stop making payments on the 8th year, what will that do to my benefit? And the policy will still be active. There's enough cash value to sustain it. There'll be a difference in the benefit, but this policy doesn't just lapse. It doesn't, it doesn't terminate because you stop making payments. If there's enough in there, we'll just adjust those benefits for the future, and your client can stop making those payments. So that's another flexibility of this policy that's really interesting. Cash indemnity versus reimbursement. We spoke about this earlier, and this is the whole reason why this product is so effective. It pays cash. The owner of the policy is going to receive if you've got $10,000 of premium, you will receive that as long as you're on claim and approved to receive the benefits. $10,000, we don't care what you do with that money. That money is for you to be able to get the kind of care that you want or that your client wants and have all the flexibility in the world to continue that type of care. Okay, we're not going to ask you for receipts. We're not going to ask you for really anything. As long as you're approved and there's every 12 months, we need to go out there and check that you still need it. So we just need to reevaluate that. But after that is done and the benefit payments come, you are eligible to use that however you wish. We don't ask you for receipts. We don't ask you for anything on that. So please note that. Also, if your benefit is $10,000, and let's say your cost of long-term care is only $7,000, we want you to take the full amount. We do not want you, especially when there's inflation involved. If you choose an inflation rider, if you do not take the full amount of the benefit, it causes issues with how much we're able to give on the inflation rider and how that affects your monthly benefit in the future. If it's $10,000, we want you to use the full amount. That is what makes this product different to others. Because the truth is, on reimbursement, if your plan only, if your costs were only $7,000, but you had $10,000 benefit, and let's say in a 5-year period, you're going to receive substantially less money than you would on the cash indemnity option. Key features of this product. This one changes a little bit from the maximum age. This one, our individual product, is up to age 75. This one is up to age 70. Minimum issue age is the same as 30. And then you have the 5-pay, 10-pay, 20-pay. As you get older, you're a little bit limited on those longer pays. 20 pays and paid at age 100 is max age 65 that you can do that. The rest of them are all to age 70 that you can choose those options. No more, again, than 25 years between both clients. Now, one of the biggest features of this product is truly what separates this product is that this is a type of policy that if you have a client that might have some health issues, and we all know that long-term care is either a pass or fail. It's not like life insurance where you have different health ratings. It's either a yes or a no. On this policy, what makes this such a standout policy is that if your client cannot get insurance, and let's say it's declined for LTC, but they're on the fence, they have a few issues, they're not allowing them, or let's say it gets postponed, right? What's beautiful about this policy is that you have 2 health ratings, standard and preferred. If one of the clients is preferred, it's almost like they're bringing in the person that has a little bit of some health issues. Okay, so you can have some health issues. This product allows you to go about 4 to 5 tables down. So it's generally like, up to a D rating on there. So if there's some health issues, we have a pre-screening form. You send that over to our underwriting, and I'll send that over to Lynn. But if you send that over with prescriptions, with how long, give us some detailed information. This is the one product that in the market that will allow you to possibly get it if you're on the fence. Again, this is not a pass or fail. This is going to be one where we can dig in a little bit deeper to the health issues and say yes or no to that with some of that historical information. One last thing on this product, there are 2 ratings again, standard and preferred. What I need you to understand is that both clients can be preferred. I cannot have 2 standard clients. It will be a decline. Again, this product is made to have at least 1 healthy client that can receive a preferred, and then you could bring in another client that is standard. But if you have 2 standard clients that have health issues, the policy will not be approved. Okay, and if you have a standard product, a client that fits a standard and a preferred, and they qualify, the age difference can only be 10 years, not 25. Now, I know that's a lot of information to remember, but just know most couples are going to fall within the 25 age range if you have 2 preferred. But if there is one with a health issue, you just got to make sure that they're within 10 years of separation of age in order to qualify for the product. Here are the underwriting classes that we discussed. You've got non-tobacco preferred, tobacco preferred, non-tobacco standard, tobacco standard. And as we all know, long-term care, we're writing assessing it a little bit more differently. Tobacco is not such an issue for us. You will see a price difference, but it's not as substantial as other policies like life insurance. Elimination period, just like the other policy. This one, remember, the first 90 days are always going to be out of pocket for your client, and we understand that. So what we offer on this product is that on the 4th month, let's say the policy was you were getting a benefit of $10,000 a month. That 4th month, that first check that you're going to receive on for benefit is going to be 4 months accumulated. So you're going to get a $40,000 check. and then it goes back to $10,000 subsequently from the $40,000 first paycheck. And that's just to recover. It's not a reimbursement because we don't know what was spent. It's a $40,000 check to help you recoup some of the expenses of those 90 days that you were out of pocket. Premium payment options, talked a little bit about this one. Still, single pay is what we see the most of. These policies are meant for more of a leverage play. They were designed originally for that. So if you have $75,000, $50,000 on the sideline, you know that you're going to need long-term care in the future. You're taking now care of your a parent in the household, and you know the expense. You don't want your family to go through the same kind of expense for you. You purchase this policy, move that $50,000, $60,000, and now you've created a pool that's going to give you about 4 to 6 times leverage on that. And then if you add inflation to that, you're talking about, if you've got 20 years to statistically get to that 75, 80 range where you might need it, you've doubled, almost tripled your total pool for benefit. So it's really effective with inflation. So again, single pay, 5 pay, 10 pay. 10 pay is where we see a lot of our chosen payment options. 20 years is also great. If you notice on our CareMatters 2, we have to pay age 65. On this product, doesn't make sense because there could be an age gap. So 20 years is the other option that we have, and then you can still pay this one. And this is kind of where middle market can choose to pay to age 100. And you can have a monthly payment of $200 a month, and you can choose to pay either 20 or to age 100. So there's great options in finding that right budget for your client. Inflation on this one, it changes a little bit. The 3% compound inflation is for 20 years, which is different because the individual product, the CareMatters 2, offers a 3% simple option. This one offers a compounding only, but to 20 years or for lifetime. The 3% lifetime option is our most popular one. That's where we see the most, and that's kind of where you get the best pricing. 5% compound is wonderful, but it can get very expensive. So 3% is a great option, and that's where we see most of our products sold. Unlike the individual policy, CareMatters 2, this one offers a guaranteed minimum death benefit of 10%. So whatever that death benefit is of this policy, no matter how long a person lives after, let's say, they've exhausted the entire policy, their family is always going to get 10% for final expenses and things like that of a death benefit from that original death benefit. We're going to take 10% of that, and we're going to give that to the family. Again, final expenses and things like that, that's what this assists with most of the time. And then just like the other policy, the potential tax advantages of this, it's there. This one also has what we've done is we created premiums for long-term care, 3 separate premiums that all have their own premium listed. So when your client is actually purchasing this, if they have an HSA account or let's say they're a business owner, if that business pays for that premium, you can go ahead and have some tax deductibility on there, depending on the entity. You get a C Corp 100% of the long-term care cost. If you're talking about a pass-through, an LLC, a sole proprietorship, anything like that, they're going to be based off of age-based limits, so you will have that to consider. But there is tax deductibility. As we know, the government wants us to purchase long-term care. They know the need. So unlike some other policies that are out there that have no tax deductibility, this one does. The only portion of this policy that does not have tax deductibility is going to be the life insurance portion, and it will never have any option for tax deductibility. This is, and I'm going to show you an illustration right now, but this is actually how it looks. We actually have a page, and this is how it would look. It's called a separately identifiable LTC and insurance premium page on your illustration. And this is just an example. I have on this example, I have a male 50, female 50. They went ahead and they purchased a $75,000 single premium, right? They had a CD that was out of the lock period, and they were looking, they're in their 50s now. They're dealing with, mom or dad maybe assisting with some financial needs. They know that they don't want to do that to their family, so they go ahead and they purchase this with a single premium with a 3% compound for life. And on the tax portion alone, I wanted to see the highlighted area. So the life insurance premium on the single premium is going to be $75,000. The life insurance portion is going to be $16,000. Okay. So what that means is that almost $60,000 of this premium has tax deductibility on. So if they were a C Corp, let's say they owned a business and it was a C Corp and they write that check from that business, $60,000 of this policy is tax deductible. Now, this doesn't work as well if you have a business, but let's say it's a S corp or a pass through. On this situation, you would want to give them a 10 pay or a 20 pay because you're going to be capped at an age-based limits, which gives you a certain amount from 50 to 60, from 60 to 70, where the IRS will allow you to take out a certain amount. Again, I think we went through some of the numbers on the last presentation, but you can get, if you're in your 50s, you might be able to get $2,000 to $3,000 of tax deductibility. But on a single premium, it doesn't make sense. If you extended the premiums for 10 years, you're going to get a lot more tax deductibility on the overall policy. And then we're here every step of the way. One of the things, and if you've never submitted a policy, it's not like life insurance on this. What the actual process of writing one of these applications is, you submit an electronic application. You have a 45-minute interview, which basically goes through all the medicals, prescriptions, any diagnosis. That's what we want to know. Once that is completed, it takes about 45 minutes. Once that is completed, it goes to our underwriting. Our underwriting approves it, and you might have a policy within 7 to 10 days. Okay. If your client is above 60 years of age, then they have a second call, which is a cognitive call. And as we all know what a cognitive call is, it's just to check out the viability of the mental status and how it works with memorization and all those things that they're trying to clear up. So if they both are passed, again, this could take anywhere from 7 to 10 days to process and to get that policy out. So it's very simple. On the other side, on the claim side, we do the same as any other carrier. We have a care coordinator that once that claim is triggered, we can assist with writing the plan of care, understanding how the benefits work. We're going to help them file the claim. We're going to help them to create the plan of care that's appropriate for them, whether it's staying at home and finding the right locations, right places to bring in care that's maybe licensed or unlicensed, finding local care services, providing ongoing support as their needs change. We have a care coordinator and a concierge service that assists like any other policy out there, and ours has really great reviews. So if you notice, if you've ever worked with Nationwide, we really do take great consideration when it comes to service. That is one of our, if you've known us and you've worked with us, services are the biggest aspect of our business, and we put a lot of money and effort towards giving you and providing you and your clients the best service out in the industry. So please take that into consideration when you're looking at carriers. We have some of the best scores as far as customer service goes, and as far as getting back to your clients, we're always available. I'm going to go ahead with this. I'm going to go ahead and just show you really quickly what an illustration looks like. So if you've used and gone into our website, you will see that this is the first. Let me go back into it. This is generally the first page that you're going to see when you come you log in. You're going to see the status. You're going to go over to life insurance when you want to run an illustration, and then you have categories and tools. Under categories, if you go to long-term care, there's a lot of things that we have our brochures in there. We have a map to also help with understanding what cost might be. It's you've probably seen it with other carriers, but you could go ahead and click on a state, see what the average cost of care is in all its different functions and ways, and you can assist your client with kind of understanding what the cost is today. And then with tools, you're going to go into our illustration portion. And this illustration portion is going to show you all these different options on how you can run quotes. Now, the two options that we suggest is Nationwide Life Illustrator online tool, and then Nationwide Life Mobile Illustration. If you go on our website on your phone and you choose Life Mobile, you're going to get the same exact features and the same way that it looks if I were to run it on this desktop. So just to let you know, you have access to run it on your phone, and it will give you an array of different options. Here's a great part about the mobile illustration. If you're running several different options, let's say you want to run it with inflation, without inflation. You want to run it with a 4-year or a 7-year option. The mobile illustration will give you kind of an Excel look to what the different cost is and how it changes. On the Nationwide Illustrator, you're not going to get that. So when you're on the go and you're running it and you want to use the Life Mobile illustration tool, it's a great option. It gives you a lot of different examples of what you need in order to come up with the proper solution for your client. Over here, you're going to go to Launch on Web. And here, what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to run this illustration again, but let's run it for CareMatters Together. Here's the illustrator. If you've never done this, this is going to be the first page that you're going to see when it pops up. You're going to change the link to LTC benefit, and here are the two options, depending on the state that you're in. I'm in California, but all states have CareMatters 2 and CareMatters Together, except for New York. New York still has our CareMatters 1 product, and that's the only one available at the moment. So this is what you're going to choose. Let's choose Nationwide CareMatters Together. And when you choose this, it's going to give you two different insureds. County, you can choose any county. This is more for our purposes, but it's going to ask you for which county you want the client is living in. And then let's keep the first names and last names as valued clients. Sex, male, female. Let's say they're both 50 years of age. Both clients 50, male 50, female 50. And here is where you're going to be able to put the risk class in there. Standard non-tobacco, preferred tobacco, standard tobacco. Same thing with the other client. You're going to have those three options. Let's say they're both in very good health. Let's say they both are going to receive preferred non-tobacco. This is the only thing that you have to do for this portion of the insured information. And then you go into the face amount on premiums. And this is honestly the crux of it all. Right here, you have two options. So specify premium or benefit. When you're looking for a solution for a client, there's two ways to go about this. Either they have the budget and you can work with that budget under premium, or let's say they really don't have a budget and they want to know what the cost is for, let's say now their family, they're taking care of their in-laws and they're in their home and they're spending about $6,000 a month. Let's say that's the situation. Then you would go to monthly long-term care because you're going to solve the benefit, not the premium. In this scenario, let's just go ahead and use premium. Let's say we've got a 10-year pay. They're in their 50s. They want to be done paying before they retire. So let's say they've got have an annual budget, or let's say a monthly budget of $700. $700, 10 pay. Let's do monthly. And let's say they want the 8-year option. So here is the 48 months, 72 months, and 96. Let's go with the 96 option. And then they're 50 years old. You have to add inflation on there. And that just makes all the difference in the world for the policy. They're young enough to where the life option is actually the best option. And then here is a future LTC age. So what we want to do is on the illustration, this age here is going to show you with inflation what the policy looks like at that age. So when you're summarizing it to your client and you're showing them what day one looks like as far as benefits go, you're also going to show them on the same page what age 80 looks like with inflation. So it's pretty powerful in that aspect. So if you are using inflation, definitely put the right age that you wanted. 75 to 80 is generally what we use. Sometimes it's 85. And then the rest of the options are output design. If your client is analytical and they want to see what the internal rate of return is, you can choose that. But for this sake, let's just go with a basic option. Let's hit calculate up here on the bar. Don't hit calculations, hit calculate. And then it's going to give you and provide you with the options with the actual illustration that you wanted. So here is the basic summary. Your highlights policy is basically going to tell you everything you need to know. So we've got a 10 pay. We're doing $700 a month, and we're going to offer the client from day one. It's an 8-year policy. The first date, they are going to have $2,000, almost $3,000 of coverage. With inflation, At age 80, this is going to grow with 3% inflation compounding. It's going to be 7110 by the time they reach age 80. The total pool of what they would receive from day one is $312,000, 583. And then the older age, when inflation is used and you're looking at 80, it's going to grow to over double what they had, which is 758, 721. So that's what the pool looks like at age 80. This is what the monthly benefit looks like at age 80. 96 months again, 3% compounding. Death benefit is going to be 105,455.88. So if they were to pass away anytime after or before never used it, at the second death, the 105,455 is paid out to the beneficiaries. You take 10% of this, of the 105, and that is going to be the guaranteed minimum death benefit that they will always receive. If they've never used the policy, the 105 is what's going to be paid out. If they used half of the policy, or let's say they only used it 1 year, then the death benefit would be half of this. But if they used it all, and let's say they used the entire at age 80, they needed both of them go on claim. They need 758, 721. They exhaust all the benefit. There's no more benefit in there. They pass away 3 years later. The guaranteed minimum death benefit is going to be 10,545, no matter what. That's for final expenses and things like that, but that will go to their beneficiaries. And the policy stays active and alive until the passing of the second insured. With that, I want to show you kind of what, if they're visual, here's where you can show them also. It's, 105 is going to be the death benefit. The 60 additional extension of benefits is going to be 175. That's where you get the 281. And then with inflation, you're looking at 758 at age 80. And then lastly, if you use the entire 758 amount and you use the 36 months of the 105, your death benefit is guaranteed to always be 10,546. And lastly, here's another example. So on this example of the separately identifiable LTC and life insurance premiums, so if you have a client that is, has HSA money, pre-tax dollars, health savings account, and they want to use those funds in order to pay for this premium, the two that will have tax deductibility are going to be the LTC premiums, which are listed here. So for the first client, it's going to be $207. For the second client, it's $325 per month. So out of the $700, there is an ability to get tax deductibility on, $532 of that $700. Now, age-based limits again. If it's HSA, they have age-based limits. If they are not a C corp, there's age-based limits. If they own a C corp, 100% of the $600 is going to be tax deductible. And then lastly, this is a ledger. This is everything. This is where you show them the guarantees, right? The death benefit is going to be 105. The total output that they put into this policy in 10 years was 84,000. Death benefit is 105. Remember, this policy is strictly meant to create that long-term care pool, and that's the main intention of it. Let's see. And so what this policy offers, let me see. I'm sorry, I have trying to move some of this information so I can see what the ledger looks like. Okay, so on the right-hand side, you're going to see where the inflation and where the monthly grows year by year. So the total monthly benefit per insured from day one is 2,929. Let's say 10 years pass. What is it? So what's it going to look like with inflation in 10 years? You're looking at 3,822. The pool is going from 312 to 407. Really, as we all know, we're really trying to create that pool for the ages 75 and above. So 75 to 84, let's say at age 80, what does this look like? Now my policy, the monthly benefit that I'm going to receive is 7110, and my pool has grown to almost $800,000. So that's really where you see a lot of the benefit of these products with the inflation, and showing your client how it's going to grow with you and how it's going to grow with inflation in the market. And we all know that the expense of this is getting higher and higher year after year. So it's going to grow with them. So when they need it, they have enough. Again, long-term care, there's no exact number to cover you properly, right? what this is for is to assist you in the best way possible, where you can help out your family so they don't have to do all of it. And you can bring in the right people. You can choose where you want to stay, whether it's at home, whether you need a facility. All those options are there on the line because you have the income in order to do that without having to spend your assets down, without having to use a 401k, without having to sell that second home that was meant for inheritance purposes. All those things is what we're doing with this product. And the true concept of this is just the leverage point, right? You put in a certain amount of money, we're going to multiply it 5 or 6 times, with inflation 10 to 12 times. That's the idea of this product. But this ledger, everything is guaranteed on this ledger. So this is really where you want to show them how it looks year by year. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'll pass it back to Lynn. If there's any questions, more than happy to help out, more than happy to ask questions. But if you're running these illustrations and it's the first time you've ever worked with CareMatters Together, CareMatters 2, call us. More than happy to run these illustrations with you and provide you kind of how to do it. There's a lot of flexibility again in these products. If you're looking for a budget and you're trying to meet someone's budget, there's always ways, whether it's the inflation that you can change, whether it's the amount of years that you can change to fit that budget. It's flexible in that. Again, this product was originally meant for kind of that.
When our team members call out, we'll be seeing if you have any questions, if there's any materials or anything we can send out to you. We'll confirm your mailing address and we'll get those nationwide swag items sent out right away. So David, thank you so much for coming on today, both this morning and today, this afternoon's presentation. Very, very good. For all of the attendees, I want to let you know the follow-up email with the voucher and all of the handouts. There's going to be several things included, so I don't anticipate that going out until at least tomorrow. So let me have a chance to connect with David and check your email tomorrow for that follow-up. And we do have a recording of both this presentation on the CareMatters Together as well as this morning's presentation on CareMatters 2. We will be sending both of those recordings out. Whether you attended the first one or not, you'll get both. So again, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for coming on as a guest speaker. You know, we have so much interest in the nationwide products, and I just feel as though learning new things, as many times as I hear this, I'm always taking away new things or things that I forgot that I that I
Absolutely.
remembered and forgot I remembered.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for everyone's time. I really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you, everyone. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your afternoon.
You too.
Golden Care is looking forward to serving you with new tools, new products, new innovations, and always the best support in the business to help you succeed in 2022. So give us a call at 800-842-7799 or check out our website at www.goldencareagent.com.